A Ugandan entrepreneur, Matthews Magola, is building a pharmaceutical factory in Uganda that's built to be the largest of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa. The biological drugs and vaccine manufacturing facility is under construction at Matuga in Wakiso district, where the foundation stone was laid by President Yoweri Museveni in July 2021.
Now a lot of traditional knowledge. When I come to modern knowledge, then I can look back. What was in the crowd? We are doing this, we are doing that, we are doing that, we are using this medicine, we are using that medicine. So therefore, the pharmaceutical companies, you are in the right place here.
History again is being made in our continent that a huge investment like this ordinarily would be funded or financed by the World Bank or IMF or IFC and other major financial institutions. But we are very proud that our own East African institution, the Equity Bank, led the way.
Registered as Dei BioPharma, the company prides itself for the giant leap it hopes to make to realize its tagline, making Africa self-sufficient in healthcare.
We import more than 85% of drugs in Africa. We are coming up to close that gap, but working in collaboration with US companies, with European companies. We are setting up an FDA-approved facility for the first time in Africa. EMA approved facility. What is EMA? EMA is European Medicine Agency and WHO standard facility in Africa. So it is this that we are able to acquire technology to manufacture more than 3,000 formulations. So for us, what we are trying to do is to make Africa self-reliant in terms of making drugs that they need for their people, because we have the technology, which is the hardest. We've been licensed by Uganda Investment Authority as a $500 million project.
Dei BioPharma will be manufacturing generic drugs under license from reputable pharmaceutical companies across the world. The company will also carry out research for development of formulations of medicine for treatment of tropical diseases.
Antimucinin is where we get two derivatives, antimether and antisunate. And these are the current drugs that the world is using to treat malaria. The question is, they have also, in many countries, developed resistance. Where is the world going? That's why when we come up and get this new compounds for malaria and that kind of thing, we believe we are saving Africa. We believe we are saving the world. And we want to continue doing the same for even other diseases.
The plant, located on 100 acres of land to the north of Kampala in Wakiso district, is financed by Equity Group Holdings PLC to a tune of $70 million. Magola's idea of coming up with homegrown medical solutions for the tropics dates back to his undergraduate studies at Makerere University, where several bouts of malaria prompted him to begin finding a lasting solution.
And you will find that malaria was hitting me when the combination they gave me is quinine and Fancida. You know, that combination during that time was so toxic. When you get it, you take another 1 week without going to school because of the side effects of quinine. So I was introducing to a very old man who was selling a certain herbal medicine at Natural Chemotherapeutics Ministry of Health. When you take this medicine, there are no side effects, but malaria will go within a period of just 3 days. This man, I would say, was a savior to me. I never again saw malaria putting me down.
The Director of Research at the National Chemotherapeutics Research Institute, Dr. Grace Nambatia, is glad to see how former students spearheading growth and development of the pharmaceutical industry at home.
Matthews Magola, knowing him was my student in chemistry, Makerere University, over 10 years back. He has always been one who is really very interested in use of natural products. There is a product he used and it's cured malaria. What he's trying to do is very innovative because many people just get into trying to do what he's trying to do without thinking of the need to ensure you have the raw material. So getting the farmers together is one good step as we focus on the pathogen economy and knowing the tropics, we are rich in those pathogens. So cashing in on that economy is very, very timely.
To realize the goal of establishing a multi-pharmaceutical industry for Western medicine and development of formulations from herbal medicines, Magola assembled a team of experts drawn from across the world.
I have built approximately 23 facilities in my 38-year careers with Abbott Laboratories, which is headquartered in Chicago. I have built plant in Vietnam, I have built plant in China, I have built plant in India, Pakistan, Indonesia, and also some of the expansion in European Union countries. Right now we are building capacity equivalent to 5 years, but we have left space for expansion to each department. So you can double the capacity whenever you want. You can go triple.
Clean room means a room that the pharmaceutical products are produced, minimizing any kind of possible contamination.
Good quality product or the good quality manufacturing practices, that what you say, what you should do, and then doing it again and again and again and again, because doing it one time is not really important. What is important is that consistently doing and repeating the same results.
Diciamo che io credo che la decisione strategica dei BioPharma è quella di avere un ambiente di produzione internazionale. Di conseguenza deve basarsi su una normativa di riferimento internazionale, che è certamente la GMP, ok, europea, ISO GMP. Mr. Magola ha richiesto. E quindi noi daremo questo tipo di certificazione sui prodotti che abbiamo fornito all'Italia.
Our plan is to be able to create 40,000 high-paying jobs, making all the essential drugs that the government needs or that Africa needs. It's not a joke. It's a lot of work. But for us, we have the starting point, which is the most difficult. We have the formulations. We have patented technology as well. Our capabilities now is to make sure that we set up all the sections that will give people the drugs. 2, we are open to contract manufacturing. For example, the big pharmaceutical companies, we are giving them the opportunity to come and make in our facility, which meets the same international standard like where they manufacture their products.
Even as the construction of the mega factory goes on, where a delegation from the World Health Organization toured the factory on a fact-finding mission in Uganda.
I'm overwhelmed by so many things, surprise, joy, that this is happening in Africa, and stuff like that. Things to take away from here. I need to tell stories when I get home, because I've not seen this type before in Africa.
He has company, he has a minister who is very ambitious, and I don't accept limitations. I think that we can overcome a lot of the limitations that we have let people impose on us, or we have imposed on ourselves. We need a lot of courage. We need to face, sometimes call a spade, and we need to confront those limitations which have come.
The cost of a dose is $700. How many African countries can afford to buy a dose that costs $700 to treat COVID-19? How many African governments can afford to pay for these drugs? We have to wait for donations.
Magola is focused on the downstream source market of the herbal medicine material to be utilized by the company. To ensure that supplies are not interrupted, Dei BioPharma is contracting more than 2,000 farmers in Chigezi region. Already, the farmers are producing a crop called Artemisia, which is used to manufacture anti-malarial medicine.
With the farmers in Kabale, when I extract antimicinin, when I extract berberine, when I extract antimethac, when I extract antisonate, I'm not going to use all of it. Big pharmaceutical companies will be coming here to buy, to take the rest, I export.
The subscription of the farmers has kicked off in Kabale district, where farmers have formed groups to pool their harvest for collection and transportation to the factory located 550 kilometers away in Kampala. Some of them have grown Artemisia, but markets have been inaccessible due to distance and overproduction.
Ekiragira Artemisia twaza kugihinga murenda kutuha embibo ekindi twine mu maka twahingira kare uwogire tani mwomugurira
ndiza kubendeka tubahereze kurabira wa mugisha naza kubendeka nza kumuha obusigo agira ati abendeka abahereze konkati ka company koko nabagambira ngo nituza kwija kunuya turonde district chairperson hamwe na no muhingisa owa district nituza kusitama tise bay eri genuine eri permanent turagira ki niho ndaza kubahereza ansa konkani impanyanti yeche bay konkani impanyanti neza kubiri kuri nkubishatu na bitanu zibali kugira ki izibali kuguraho hati
ukatero buying center kugira ngo kabara ibintu tice batutwara radio center kugira ngo inora wene ke kizibu cobwira konga tarasa kutegereza abandi bajyayisha kugira kugurira so kidi possible ninga masa kuchita mu program
zena cha buying center ntuza kwasagara ogo mwanya ni muri agurya ha main imanchenga keche naza kwasagana mu cano kufuna umuntu okufa okwe center ka ro full time kugira ngo wetaka message girata akagure abandi mwanya agenda girata yabo kufuna bo inakiri biri obo inizinga.
Artemisia is a woody shrub that grows above 2 meters high. The leafy parts are pared off the woody stem and dried. Derek Mugisha grows a variety imported from China as well as another from Europe.
As a group, we have been growing sorghum, growing beans, and sweet potatoes, and the Irish potatoes. But when you compare those crops to this I mean this Artemisia. This one the price is higher than the other crops. It has helped me to build the house. I've bought some cows. My house I've put in electricity. I've bought some TV, buying land through Artemisia. Me at times I use 20 workers to make it ready for sale every day. I pay them weekly on Saturdays. If I could get a chance of being given a loan, I may plant 10 acres or more, because people from Mbale, from Kenya at times, they come looking for it and they fail to get it. They find when we have already sold it.
Before I started planting Artemisia, I used to plant some beans, some maize, and sweet potatoes. But when you compare the prices of those other crops with Artemisia, Artemisia is somehow better.
Dei BioPharma has the necessary goodwill from the government and financial access to operate and reach markets beyond Eastern Africa.
One of the best gifts Uganda-born is a scientist in the name of Mr. Magola Matthews can give to his fellow countrymen, because when you look at the profile of this industry, it is meant to be doing research on local or indigenous plants or materials from which we can get some drugs to treat human beings. But when you look at its size again and the way it's being built, it is meant to be providing employment opportunities with very many Ugandan young scientists.
Africa, especially in the pharmaceutical industry, our riches are in our natural therapeutics. Actually, around us in Uganda, and Milbini across Africa. We have all the medicines that we need, but we've not developed this. So the work of Matthews actually complements the work of the ministry, which we are doing. And we are going to work out an MOU where we support the basic parts of it so that he picks out more the applied, because that makes commercial sense.
The partnership between Equity and Dei BioPharma is acknowledged as a homegrown initiative for Africa's medical problems that's worth emulating.